Welcome. In this lecture, we will talk about one of the very important concepts, and that is how to prepare for your civil services prelims 2024. Now, when you are talking about your prelims examination, a lot of questions that come to the mind of students is primarily related to coaching and a well-defined timetable. So, these are the two things that we would address in this session. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions or queries, feel free to post those in the comment section and I'll be happy to take the queries forward as I proceed. Now, first of all, the thing that comes into mind, as I said, is do I need a coaching for prelims as well as mains? With the UPSC paper pattern becoming highly dynamic in nature, it's a good idea to go for self-study. Even when you are doing a self-study, you need to have a clear idea about what to study and from where to study. So, right sources is really important, and along with right sources, I would say most importantly authentic sources. So don't just go by the quick summaries and the things that you have, but refer the authentic sources. So what are the good authentic sources? I would say Wikispedia, one of the very important sources that you must refer. That's the official government website for understanding the latest policy developments. For economics, I would recommend Investopedia is a good source that you can refer. Besides this, PIB, that is the Press Information Bureau, you must also refer to the latest magazines of Yojana, Kurukshetra, released monthly. Besides this, cover Down to Earth. Down to Earth comes fortnightly, that's every 15 days. So try to cover both the editions. Extremely important because every off and on we see at least 5 to 6 questions directly which have been part of the Down to Earth edition. Now, in this process, while you are studying, a lot of students come up with a query whether NCERTs are important. Now, NCERTs are the base. Previously, we used to see a lot of questions coming in directly from the NCERTs, but with changing trend, NCERTs have become the base, and on top of that, you need to study different sources. For example, ICSE references are again a good source to prepare for your prelims. Now, as I said, prelims coachings would actually not be pretty useful because they try to cover each and every subject at the same pace. But let's say you are from economics background, then you are more sound in economics, you need more practice probably in science and technology section. So when you are doing it at your self pace, you can devote more time to that specific section, right? So be very particular what you actually intend to go for. The next is timetable. Now, a lot of students come and ask, ma'am, provide a timetable for 2024 prelims. That's a good idea that someone can actually have the plate ready for you, but that's something that we technically don't recommend. The simple reason is every student is unique, and the time you require to study a single concept can vary from 1 hour to 4 hours for the same topic to two different students, even who have a similar IQ score, right? Now, this happens because it's what we call as the aptitude towards the subject. Probably there are two students with the same IQ scores. Given the same topic, one can cover in 1 hour, the other can cover in 4 hours. The reason is some of the students can have a proper aptitude towards that topic, the others might not have a good aptitude or a basic understanding or approach towards that topic. So, devising a common timetable for everyone is not a good idea. But yes, when you are doing your timetable, some things that you must keep into mind. First is you have the prelims paper 1 and the prelims paper 2. Paper 2, the CSET paper 2 is the qualifying paper, right? Now, since this is simply a qualifying paper, what you need to ensure is whether you are sound at CSET paper 2. If you are sound at and you don't require practice, that's fine. You can totally skip that. Towards the last 10-15 days, you can quickly practice some questions to ensure that you are not running short in terms of speed, right? Now, what remains is CSET paper 1, or what is called as the GS Prelims paper 1. Now, this is the proper general studies that you have. Now, in this general studies, when you are preparing, ensure that your preparation for GS goes parallel with the GS mains except for paper 4. So except paper 4, all the papers you should be able to cover in a single rhyme along with your GS prelims preparation. Another major difference with prelims and mains is solely focused for India. History of India, geography of India. However, international organizations are part of it. But for prelims, you need to understand world history, you need to understand world geography. Those are not the case with the main syllabus. So if you are covering the prelim syllabus, it's, I can say, more extensive than the main syllabus. Even in the prelim syllabus, the questions from the sections on ancient India are relatively difficult to answer. Now, ancient India is not the part of the syllabus for your mains. For the mains, you specifically are focusing on modern India. So that's again a difference. New programs and policies, whatever released, would be applicable to both prelims and mains at an equal pace. So if you are preparing for either of those, you are well set with the preparation. Now, the right approach, how and what you should do for your prelims 2024. At least 7 to 8 hours to be devoted on a regular basis. Those who are working can have around 5 to 6 hours being devoted on a regular basis, and during the weekends, when you have the weekend off, you can devote around 10 to 12 hours a day. So that should be the common guidelines in terms of duration. Now, coming on to the sources that we have already mentioned, the topics that are extremely important. With the recent trends, we have seen science, technology, environment and economics as the three major topics, along with social issues and history. Basically, those are the contemporary topics, but these three have a very dynamic approach. The level of difficulty of the questions are very, very different for these kind of questions that you need to understand. So if you are covering the GS mains course, you are already set with most of the sections for your prelims, and then you can go on to the prelims and practice the questions from here. Now, when you practice the question, ensure that you are covering a variety of questions. It shouldn't be like a single set that you are covering, but you should be able to cover a huge variation in the kind of questions. And then also, students ask when to start with the optional preparation. Now, during this time, November and December, you can focus on your optional as well, but starting from January, it would be good idea to focus exclusively on your prelims content. However, 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day can be devoted to your optional preparation, but again ensure that you are not leaving the optional totally for the result to be declared after your prelims and then you start your preparation for optional. No. Also, for selecting the optional, we would take a separate class, but it should incline with your interest and not with the popularity of the subject in the market. That's really, really important to take into account. So those were some of the quick things that we discussed for this session. In case you come across with any of the problems or any of the questions, feel free to connect at the number given here or drop us an email, and we'll be more than happy to resolve your doubts and queries. Wish you very good luck. Thanks for joining in today.